I have a soundboard. I can make a cool sound with my voice.
Oh man, it's too late.
Hold on one sec. Give me like 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Go put your mask on or something.
Put a mask on.
Oh, you don't have that. You don't have that mirror mask anymore.
Oh, actually, I do.
Yeah, I know.
I do.
Hold on.
What do you mean? Hold on. We're introing. We're in here. All right. You're not ready.
Hold on.
Welcome. What's up, guys? How's it going? I'm Coach Brown. It's Donnie Donuts. Ashley V. We're here for the UnCut Show. I'm excited about tonight because this was kind of like on a whim. It was kind of like I was thinking about it, and I'm like, oh, you know what? Let's do a show on it. And I was like, yo, Ashley, what do you think about doing a show like this? She's like, let's do it. So we're here. You know what I mean? Against all odds, we're here.
We're here.
We are here against all odds. But,
and we match.
And we match. You see that? And we're both tired. So I don't know what the hell's going on today. But yeah, as you guys can see, I'm not in the studio. So I'm in between studios right now. If you're wondering why, like, what the hell's going on? Where's this guy at? But that's what's going on. So, life after death.
Boom.
What goes on when we die?
This is a big one. This is a big one. I have a lot of questions with this one.
I think everybody does because that's like the number one. The number one thing is like, yo, when we die, like, what happens? And there's 1,000 answers. You know what I mean?
I think that I'm gonna go back to my alien home planet and like watch my human life on a movie screen.
Oh, like I really hope that doesn't happen because
binge watch.
I don't want to relive some things I did in the past.
Well, me specifically, I don't know if you're an alien though.
Okay.
I feel like I'm a June bug.
A what? A June bug?
Yeah. I'm not going to be anything cool, I'll tell you that.
All right, so let me ask you this. So everybody's in agreement that something happens after this life. Because some people think when you die, that's it. Game over, lights out, and that's it.
I used to think that.
I think I've seen too much to even entertain that.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
What I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I don't think I'm afraid of like dying. I think I'm afraid of the unknown. I think that's the biggest part right there. So like, I always like tried to like put it on a back burner and like say like, oh, you know, nothing's going to happen outside of just dying. That's it, lights out. But I think the big thing for me was I didn't want to believe that something else could happen, whether it was good or bad. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of put myself in a position that, what's that?
You're talking about like a heaven and hell type situation?
Yeah.
Interesting concept.
So I think I made myself believe that was it, lights out.
Because you were afraid to go to hell?
Yeah. Or somewhere different. Like, I mean, forget the little struggles of my life. I mean, I could be in a way worse situation. So if I was reincarnated or if I went somewhere where life was a lot worse, that would suck.
Yeah.
So that's why I always like just, all right, it was over. Game over.
There's been, when we think about what happens after this life, there's a few things I'll bring up and then we can kind of like go through it. But I've seen a lot of interesting things like outside of myself, but then I've also seen things myself personally. One of the things that I've seen since a young age that let me know like, yo, there's more to this. Is like those people, and honestly, Ashley, I know you do like the Akashic records and stuff, right? I saw this little kid on, I forget what show it was. It might have been like Unsolved.
Oh yeah, I know. I already know what
you know. You know where I'm going with this, and he knew who he was in his past life. He knew how he died. He knew his wife's name. He knew his and he would always tell his parents like, "Oh, my name was this." He always used to draw an airplane with like a number on it. And they were just like, that's cute, whatever. But then, like, the more detail they got, they started to think, like, wait, is there something to this? And they took this little dude back to where he said he was from, found his family that he was telling them about, the wife. He knew everything about the wife, the name, like, memories they shared together. And the crazy thing about it was the plane that he always drew with a certain number, let's just say it was 575. Just so happens that dude died in a plane crash because he was like in the military and his plane number was 572.
Wow.
That's insane.
So
dude.
like, yo, there's things like that.
You
like,
can't make that up though. Like that's not
yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying. You can't.
yeah,
You can't
especially as a little
that
kid
way.
too. Like that's knowledge he wouldn't like anybody would be hard to find. Like the government, not just a little kid. Like yeah, maybe he could find someone that exact the same name and ironically has that wife's name out there. But to go that deep into like, oh, he died on this plane with this number.
It was so intense. Like the wife was crying because it was like she was sitting in front of her husband, but obviously it's not her husband. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Imagine that feeling. That's so weird.
Oh, man.
A little kid looking at you like, "What's up, babe?" You're like, "Whoa."
That must have been an awkward situation for her because it's like he's back, he's in front of her, but she can't do anything. Like he's still gone. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like it's messed up.
So around the table real quick. Let's do around the table, and then also in the comments, you guys jump in. I know the comments are going to be lit because this is such a heavy question. But hey, let's see who's up in here real quick, and then we'll do a roundabout. Lindsay said, "Hey guys, what's up, Lindsay? How's it going?" Michael Pitt said, "Hello from Coventry."
Oh, Mike Pitt from Coventry, yeah.
You know Mike Pitt from Coventry, okay? Lindsay said she loves the topic. Yeah, I'm excited to dive into it for sure. Karen Parker said, "Then how does medium fit into that? Then if there's nothing after?" Saying like, yeah, nothing afterlife. You know what? I do want to touch on the medium aspect because I think that's very interesting. But let's go a roundabout.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with Ashley. Ashley, in your opinion, or if you had to draw a conclusion based on everything you've experienced and all the knowledge that you have, in all the things that you're versed in, $1 million question: what happens when we die?
I think it's different for every soul. I think it depends on your development, what levels you want to go to next. I mean, my friend Deanna just joined. She was like, oh, I don't want to reincarnate anymore. And I know I've had this happen with me and my other friends where we're like, yo, imagine if you just go through the light and then you come right back here because there's more work that you need to do. So I really believe that if you don't complete a lot of work when like in the current lifetime you're in, you're going to reincarnate again and you're going to have to do it all over again. Right. I think, and I feel because I've done mediumship before, I have the capability to do mediumship, but I don't like doing it. So it's not that I can turn it off, but I put my ability more into other energies instead of that because I don't like communicating with deceased people because it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of work, and I feel like anybody who does mediumship needs to solely focus on that because there's so much entangled in it. I feel like when I communicate with people that crossed over, people are in different levels of the other side. So you can tell how advanced the soul is by the way their energy is coming in. So for example, my aunt, when she first passed away, I could feel her human form more, but now she feels more angelic. And I don't think she's an angel because I feel like humans and angels are separate. But like when I feel her presence, it's not human. It's more like, it's almost like she takes up the whole room. She's an energy form now. So I can tell that she advanced and she moved on from her form here, which was Kathy Vinci. I feel like she is advanced because I feel like my cousins and my uncle allowed themselves to heal as much as they could. And when the people here physically heal, the soul on the other side is allowed to move on and learn in the ether in different ways. I noticed too, another example is when one of my friends, I don't want to say his name, but if you watch, I think it was my Shroomin' and Bloomin' Part 2, I talked about my friend who passed away and he came through and how he wasn't supposed to die so young. It was kind of a fluke in a way, like he was supposed to live longer. And when he comes in, his energy's still how he was when he was alive, a lot of it. So I know he's still working through things like, connecting with his family, whatever, because he has unfinished business. Did he cross over? I feel like he's crossed over. I don't feel like he's stuck, but I feel like he has and then there's souls that don't cross over and they get stuck. So there's a lot of, I feel like there's a lot of different things that happen. There's even other things where like I feel like, and this is crazy, but this is what I feel, and this is pretty out there, but if you follow me, it's not. I believe that I am actually an ET that incarnated as a human, and I feel like when I pass over, I may go to the other side, or I may go back to the ET life and report back the human experiences.
So you're here like having an experience, collecting data. When you pass away, you go back and you report on that.
Yeah, I've always had that like really strong feeling since I was a kid. I used to tell people when I was a kid that I was an alien.
They're probably like, who's this little kid talking about the dick like she's an alien? What about for you, Donnie? Where you at, man?
Oof, that's tough, man. Like I was saying earlier, it's just, I've always put myself in that position where I didn't want to think about it. And I think it was just more of the fear of unknown. Mm-hmm. So for me, I hope for the best, but in the back of my head, I feel like it's just not going to be great. I don't know where it's going to be. I don't know if it is just going to end, if it is going to bring me somewhere else. But there's a lot of fingers pointing towards there is something else after. I can't give you an answer like exactly how I'm going to feel or where I'm going to go. I do believe that there is something else, so I will cross my fingers on that one.
I wonder why you feel like it wouldn't be good.
I don't know. I just because you hear different things, and it's like I think a lot of it has to do with religion too. Is that you hear like there's a heaven and a hell, and that's it, and then you hear like there's the heaven, the middle, and then the hell, and then there's like reincarnation and stuff like that. So I think I'm just more confused on the whole situation than I am like anything. Cause like, I think I've done I think, if we went by the religion book, I'd be in heaven, but if there is something else,
you, Donnie.
What's that?
I know things about I'm joking.
No, but I don't know. Like I'm just going to pretty much just keep my ears open today. Cause I'm more interested to hear other ways that people believe, because I feel like there's so many ways out there that people believe in that like I feel like people get a lot confused because you hear this way and then this religion will say this way and then this person will say this way. So like there's a lot to take in, and it's almost like hard to like what should I believe? Like what's the right way? And there might be different ways for different people, like you were saying. So I don't know. It's hard to like this is what I want,
Yeah. Just to catch up on some comments real quick. Let's see. She said, hell yeah, a lot of energy. I think she was talking about when you were talking about the medium work. She said, this is so right on. That was Heidi. Allie, I cannot see Allie's comment. Oh, she said, oh man, Bai just got a rush. Heart, RIP, my dude. Caroline said, hi, Jason. Yes, there is life after death. Absolutely. Oh, Caroline, how's it going, Caroline? Yeah, so me personally, I believe without a doubt, obviously something happens after here. I've had personal experiences that would leave me without a doubt. You know what I mean? I know like when my dad passed away, there were a lot of times afterwards that, like how you said, you could feel someone's energy in the room. Mm-hmm. I'd be driving in my car and I would just feel him like in the passenger seat. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or I'd be like in a certain place and I would feel like him, and then like a song or something that would be like his would come on, and it was just like, yo, this is too. It was too crazy. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? And I also had another experience that was pretty weird too, and this was like right when he passed away. We were all like, we went to Maryland because he was like from Maryland, and we went to like his old house, and was going through the thing, whatever. But the experience was so weird because it wasn't like I felt him there. It was almost like, and I feel weird even saying this, but we got to be transparent because we got to have a real conversation. It felt like his energy entered my body. Like, you know what I mean? Like I felt like I was him for like a couple seconds, and it freaked me out. And I feel like when I got freaked out, it jumped out of me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, people will tend to like try to trance you sometimes. That's why I didn't like doing mediumship, because I didn't like when they would try to jump into my body, because sometimes when they would try to tell you how they died, you would feel it. And I was like, I don't want to feel that shit.
I was gonna ask you about that. Like when you did some media and stuff, do you feel like when you're with, not like within your own family, but like if you were to do something for somebody else, do you feel the pain that they went through?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, that's gotta be tough.
And I always used to get a lot of people coming in who had addicts that died.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of addicts that died. So it was heavy energy.
Yeah.
You know, like the people that were there were very heartbroken. They're still healing on the other side. And yeah, you can feel a lot of their shit. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw something heavy in here, and this is gonna change the conversation a little bit, but it's something that's like I think we got to talk about. So hold on, we got some big comments, so let's take a look at it.
That one from Lindsay's pretty interesting.
Let me see. I'm trying to catch up because a couple came in right after. Deanna said, "I believe what Ashley said. I think they do a life review, then a lot of healing after."
Yeah.
Allie said, "What about feeling like you will get reincarnated, okay, see, Allie's where I'm at because this is where I'm going. But in another universe. So if we were to die today, but not come back to this earth, but another earth or realm altogether." Now I want to touch on that, but let me hit these comments real quick. Definitely.
I think I've done that before. So.
Let me see. Oh, Lindsay said my grandfather and cousin blew out the light bulbs in my house. I'll blow out the light bulbs in my house all the time. I've never replaced so many light bulbs in my life until after they died. Wow, that's crazy. Adeline said, anyone have any thoughts on lucid dreams? I think that's going to tie into this conversation I want to open up because I think this is important and I think it's going to get interesting. All right, last one. Here we go. I had that happen when my hold on 1 second. I had that happen when my papa transitioned. It was peaceful. It was in our body posturing. It was like I gave him a glimpse of what it was like to be me.
Grieving.
Oh, grieving. It was healing. My computer's like running slow with this thing coming out. Each medium reads a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel. Mm-hmm. Laugh out loud, I'm sure. Wait, this thing's stupid. Oh, I feel like for sure get reincarnated, just not here. All right, so let's talk about that. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like this plays such a huge, this could pose such a huge question. And the question that I ponder with is, all right, obviously we're here in this space and time, this universe, we're living this life, right? But science has now begun to tell a little bit of truth. And now we got to get into multiverse. Now we got to get into infinite realities. You know what I mean? Where like Ashley V is here in this space and time, but Ashley V also exists in infinite realities that play out in infinite ways. And every possibility that could play out in your life is playing out somewhere in some alternate universe. Mm-hmm. Now, with that being said, when we think about death, if what we know to be true about time, like time is just moving, like you're young and then you move and you get old, right? And then you die and that's it. If we take that out of the equation and go to moving in and out of time and in and out of realities and existences and universes and multiverses and all this shit, how do we conceptualize death if we exist infinitely everywhere?
I don't know.
I don't know either. These are the things that keep me up.
Yeah.
Like when I'm laying in bed at night and I can't sleep.
I guess your human life would be over, but technically not, because you would still be alive as a human somewhere else, right?
Yeah. So like, what's up with that? Anybody in the comments got something? I don't even know.
That's I mean, like I said, I feel like I'm living on. I feel like I'm connected to ET life. Like I feel like I'm living a life on another planet right now too.
Because you guys have experienced deja vu, right?
Oh yeah,
all the time.
When I guess multiverses collide, so it's like something that's already happened, and maybe a millisecond apart, bumps into each other, like reality wise. You know what I mean? And then you're like, damn, I feel like I did this before.
Have you ever got deja vu so bad that you actually had to stop and think
Yeah.
like I've like you sometimes it's like it's just like, oh, this feels normal. Like I feel like I've already done this before. And then there's times like, no, wait, I know I've done this before. Like, wait a minute. I need to stop for a second, sit down, think about this because this just got crazy.
I've had deja vu to the point that I realize I'm having deja vu, and then I know what the person's gonna say next. I'm like, this is deja vu, and
yes, that's what I'm talking about. It's so in depth that
boom,
like,
and
yeah,
say boom, 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 and I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Yep, because like regular deja vu for me only lasts like a couple seconds. Like it's like, oh, like you place a cup down, it falls over. Like, wow, I've that's happened before. And then there's times where it's like it goes on for a couple minutes, and you're like, I know what's gonna happen next, and it happens, and you're like, holy crap, what the hell?
Deanna said Ashley V, that song.
Because her friend that passed away was playing her the song in the car the other night, and yeah, it was weird. It was a lot that went down with it. I don't remember the whole story, but yeah, no, they play music. They'll do everything. They're I just know, like, I know when my ex that passed away is around, he comes in the form of a cardinal. So, like, and it's crazy because my friend will be talking about, like, this happened like 2 weeks ago. We were talking about him, and then she looked out her window, and there was a cardinal.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, like,
I've seen stuff like that before.
More that you're accepting of this and you're believing, you see things all the time, and it doesn't even, like, faze you anymore. You're like, oh, okay, there you are, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Amanda said your soul chooses another suit to live in. Adeline said energy is the answer to that. Wherever our energy is present, wherever our energy is, we are present. Yeah, I definitely believe that. It's ironic. Hold on, let me see. It's ironic you're having this topic. This is a holy week for some. What do anybody know what the holy week is?
Isn't it? I know Easter's coming up. What next?
Oh. Come on, man. I'm not.
So isn't it like what do they call that? Is it crossover or something?
Well, it's Easter. It's Easter. This is like when
crossover.
No, maybe not. I could be wrong. I'm not. I don't follow that much. Passover, maybe.
This is
crossover, Passover. I don't know. Same word, different. I mean, same saying, different word.
Yeah. Now, does anybody?
Well, I have a story for you. So, because this relates to Easter, so my grandmother passed away last year, and my mom had a dream about her 2 nights ago, and she was like, she called me to tell me, because of course everyone in my family calls me to tell me when things like this happen. She was like, Grandma was in my dream last night, and she just kept saying on the phone, she was like, I was talking to her on the phone, and she was like, there's 10 people coming, and they were talking about Easter, and that's how many there would be. It would be 10 of us, including her. And then my mom kept going, wait, you're not coming. You're dead. Like, where are you? Where are you? And my grandmother wouldn't answer. She just kept talking about Easter. So my mom was like, what do you think that is? And I was like, that's Grandma saying that we need to have the holidays again because we haven't had a holiday since 2019 because my mom's been afraid of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So I knew right away because the week before, I was getting aggravated thinking about, I bet my mom's not even going to do Easter and like just kind of being annoyed. And I've been so distracted lately, like trying to find the new space and like just so much going on with my business. And like, it just like came in and then it left. I forgot to like call my mom and ask her. And then that happened. And I was like, that's definitely her because I was like, I feel like that was her telling me you guys need to do the holidays again. But it came in through me through agitation because I'm aggravated because we haven't gotten together. So like, I feel like there's a level of frustration from my grandmother, but it came in different from my mom where it was just like her communicating with her, but she kept repeating the message over and over again. My grandma was also really calm. She wasn't somebody that was like, you need to do this. She was always like, we need like, just very gentle.
Yeah.
So I knew. I was like, well, I just put the 2 and 2 together, even though the conversation didn't make sense, but I knew the feeling in me. That's what she was trying to say. So it's like the more that you learn how to connect with your intuition, you'll figure out the messages that they're trying to send you. But I knew immediately. I knew she wasn't. I don't think she was disappointed, but I just feel like it was more of like, okay, it's time for you all to start to get together again. And my mom and my stepdad actually just had COVID and they're getting over it. So like now they're okay with like being like they're not afraid.
Experienced it, so they're
yeah. So my mom's like, oh, we're doing the holidays now. So I feel like my grandmother coming in the dream and doing that was like pushed my mom like, okay, we need to get together.
Yeah.
That's crazy how because that takes us back to what Adeline said earlier. She said, does anybody have any, like, I think she said anything on lucid dreaming. But the reason why I think that's interesting is because how you said how your grandmother came through the dream. I know that a lot of times people will experience people that passed on in their dreams, or that seems to be a common way that they show up. For me, I'm like, how are the two worlds connected? Because I know people when it comes to like lucid dreaming. Obviously, I think that's the whole point of lucid dreaming. But that can go into a dream and control the entire thing.
Well, yeah, it's just you know when you're lucid dreaming that you're in another reality. But I feel like when people that cross over come in the dream, I don't really feel like that's lucid dreaming. That's just you two connecting. So I always have people that cross over. Like that's how I realized I had an ability from a young age, because my friends, like a few of my friends' parents passed away, and they would come to me in dreams and tell me to give messages to them. So like that started happening to me at a really young age. But it's easier for them to connect with you through dreams, because you're separated from your physical body more when you're sleeping. That's why people get sleep paralysis, because they leave their body and then they can't get back in. Or the bad part of that would be you're getting abducted by aliens or something else is trying to get in your body. But a lot of the times it's just your higher self can't get back in your body fast enough before your body's waking up.
I had that. That's funny you said that. I just had that happen the other day, to the point where when I finally came to, I looked at my girl and I was like, was I yelling at you in my dream? She's like, no. And I was like, I was screaming your name in this. I couldn't wake up. I couldn't move. So I was like trying to yell her name to like shake me awake, and it was awkward. It was like I was like, I woke up and I was like, nah, I had to like walk it off. I was like, nope, that was too freaky for me.
Yeah. It's usually your soul trying to get back in your body, and what happens is your body is like your body is beginning to wake up before you get fully back in.
Yeah, it was awkward.
I know that there's some people in the comments right now that definitely have seems like they have a lot of information in this area. So like if somebody wanted to join us and join the conversation for a little bit, I'm totally open. Just say yes, me in the comments, and I can send you a link. That
who should join, which should be Tori, because she's done a lot of paranormal work. I don't know if she's still on yet.
Tori, if you're on, I'll send
Tori,
you a
are
link.
you watching?
Because that's where I want to go next. But before we go to paranormal,
Tori is an expert in the paranormal.
Let me ask you this, only because I know that you've had some experience with medium work, right?
Tori's a medium as well, too.
Really? Okay. Oh, Tori, I am. She's still here. So, Tori, would you like to join us on the stream? I can send you a link right now, and we can get you on the screen with us. I think that'll be great, especially because we're about to go into the paranormal phase. But do the medium work that you've done, Ashley, with these people when you're interacting with the people that have passed on. No, two questions. Number one, do they know that they passed on? Are they like consciously aware that they're not alive? Because I've heard of people that have been dead and they haven't accepted it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those are people that don't want to deal with what they need to deal with on the other side. And then I did have a friend who actually overdosed, and when he passed, because this is what happens sometimes when people overdose, is they'll step out of their body, and then they'll be like, oh shit, and they'll be like looking at their body and don't even realize that they passed away.
Oh, they look down.
So I had to have one of my friends who was a medium help us cross him over because he couldn't get through.
Yeah, that's like one of the biggest things. I don't want to like.
That probably happened to you then. You probably got stuck for a little bit when you died in another lifetime, and that might be why you're afraid now to die.
It's possible. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like it's just a weird thought. Like I don't know. Like everything about death freaks me out. Everything, and I know it's gonna come. I know it's gonna happen, and it's just I've seen it so much that you think that I would like accept it. Like, hey, guess what's coming? But like every part of it freaks me out. Like my age, you looking at like I hope I don't mess up, get thrown in jail, and it's the death penalty. Like I'm telling you, every part of death freaks me out.
I know somebody who I won't say them. Well, she won't care. If she does, I'm sorry, Nana. But my grandmother actually passed away when she was having my mom, and with her experience, she said that when she passed away, the typical "I saw the bright light" type of thing. She said that she heard familiar voices like telling her like to come, but she said that what stuck out to her, not the most, but she said she was overwhelmed with the smell of flowers. Like it was so strong.
I've heard that before.
It just filled her entire
Really?
Yeah, I've actually that's not the first time I heard that a certain smell has overcome when someone passes away. Now, is that a different feeling from like I know like your dad? She passed away when she was giving birth, and they brought her back.
Yep.
Is that a different like? Are you going to see something different from when they bring you back? So, like I know your body isn't 100% dead when they bring you back because obviously they were able to like regenerate stuff. But when you're like, if you die from a certain age and you're dead, are you going to see something different or do something different than if you like died really quick? They brought you back. Is that like because I know a lot of people say that kind of the same thing every time that they have died and come back. They see the bright light, they smell a certain smell, hear a certain sound, and then they're back.
Yep.
So I don't know if like when you're actually like ready to go, is it different?
Like is that phase one? And
then is that like a certain phase?
There's like something else. Like
yeah.
I don't know if we'll ever know that because
exactly, and when you do get to that point, you can't explain it because
I heard something pretty interesting. They said that when you die, that light that you see is the birth canal.
Oh God,
no.
And that's why babies
you're just continuously getting reborn.
Forget like where you know what I mean?
Oof, that's a rough life.
Yeah.
Tori is gonna join us. She said, "Hold on," so she's coming through. Talk to us about the paranormal. So we won't.
Tori actually is the one who does table tipping at Ascension Next. So we should talk about that. That's physical mediumship.
What do you mean? Like,
I'm concerned about. Yeah.
We'll have Tori explain it. She explains
it
a lot better than me. But we use the table to connect with people that have crossed over.
Now you said she does some paranormal stuff.
Yep, she does that.
I'm very interested in that. That's cool. I actually want to I don't know how awkward this is, but I want to sit along on like when you go into like houses and do like paranormal.
Yeah, that's what she does.
I would love to sit in on one of those and maybe not be the guy that interacts, but just see like what goes on and stuff like that. I've always watched the TV shows, and I don't know how real those are, but
Oh, Tori is with us. All right, so let me find Tori here. We're gonna add it to the screen. Let's see.
Hello.
Tori, here.
Hey there.
How's it going, Tori?
Good. How are you?
This is Donnie Donuts, and then you already know. Actually, you guys be tipping tables together.
Tori, do you want to explain to them what table tipping is?
Yeah, sure. Table tipping is a form of physical mediumship. There's all sorts of different types of mediumship, but this provides a physical phenomenon that people can see or experience. And in this case, it's a table. So basically, we sit around a 3-legged table, and we connect with loved ones, friends, pets, spirit guides, angels, ascended masters, and away we go. This is something that's dated back to the Victorian age. People used to sit around tables in their parlors, connecting with their loved ones that had passed over on the battlefields during World War I and also the Civil War throughout Europe and also the U.S. It's been documented that President and Mrs. Lincoln actually table tipped in the White House. to connect with their youngest son. Yep. So I've actually used, and I know Ashley has seen it, we've actually used Table to cross people over. We've brought on messages from people who needed to have something relayed before, something that they weren't able to say before they passed. One vivid memory that I have is I had a 16-year-old boy who had committed suicide, and I had his mother and his aunt and his cousin who found him sitting there at table. This was maybe less than a week after he had done it. I mean, his ashes, his cremains hadn't even come back from the crematorium yet. And Mother Mary brought him through to tell his mother and his aunt and his cousin who found him that how sorry he was. So there's so much emotion through table tipping. Like literally, the table will weep. The table will flip upside down and hug people. I've seen the table actually wipe tears away from people's eyes.
It's very intense. It's because the table is bringing in all the energy, so you can feel it a lot more, I think, than somebody just giving you a mediumship reading.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting.
So 2 questions, just because I'm extremely interested. The first question is, when you're when you're doing these readings and you're interacting with people from the other side, where are these people at? Are they in a heaven? Are they in a hell? Are they in between? Like, where are they coming to you from?
I feel that they're always around us. You know, and I feel like they can be in multiple places at one time. I tend to go on the proviso that heaven is what you make of it. I mean, my idea of hell is ice cold. I don't know about you. So I feel, I mean, I don't necessarily buy into the cute little cherubs floating around in clouds.
Yeah.
But, you know, we also have, from a physicist side, everything is made of energy. And what happens when that energy, you know, when that energy stops, can it still keep on continuing? And I believe it can, through lots of different ways, through hauntings. I mean, we have lots of different types of hauntings too, on top of what we have in terms of the mediumship with people trying to get messages across or trying to tell their story. A lot of the paranormal teams are, let me rephrase that. A lot of the good paranormal teams are just trying to tell these individual stories.
Yeah.
They're not trying to rile them up and provoke and stuff like that.
I know scientifically they've as recently as a couple years ago been able to photograph or pick up or use sensors to see when someone passes away, like the energy leaving their body, like the spirit leaving their body. Now, with the work that you do you ever get imposters? Do you ever get someone posing as someone?
Oh, yes, and they're not of the brightest and whitest of light.
Yeah, we've had to keep a lot of energies off of table.
Wow.
Sneak through, and you can feel, like, if you're good at what you do, you can feel that's not what that is. That's not the right energy. Like, yeah, that happens a lot. That's why you need to be trained, and you need to know what you're doing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always thought, like, when you see it on TV and stuff like that, and obviously I don't know how 100% that is, but when you see the paranormal stuff like that, they go in there and they, like, almost piss off the spirit, and it's like, why are you doing that? Like, if you are really doing this, right? If they really do have the ability to talk to people in a different area, why are you gonna? Your first instinct is to piss it off. So why, it moves something for you? Like,
well, they want the physical phenomenon for the money.
That's just, it drives me insane, because that's why I was like, I don't want to. When I want to experience this, I want to sit. I would love to sit on, and see how this is all done, but I don't want to sit in my living room watching it on TV, because I don't like the way that they do it, first of all, and I don't know how much of that is 100% true, because if it is for the money and they go into somewhere and there is no action, there is always action on TV. So you know what I'm saying? Like, they always find some kind of clue, and whether that's man-made or actual findings, that's what I don't understand. I can't tell the difference.
The production of a 42-minute television show is usually about 5, 6, 7 hours worth of investigation, sometimes days.
Yep. Well, I believe that.
Wow.
I believe that. I mean, yeah, that it's just it's incredible. I mean, I've always been so fascinated in paranormal stuff like that because I've
Rhode Island
never.
has a lot of very active
Mm,
locations. Newport in particular. I also work with Newport Ghost Tours.
oh, nice.
And I've done investigations of one of the buildings that's on the tour, which is a very dark place.
Yep.
Ashley can contest to that one.
Mm.
It was not a good
place. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was one of the team members basically tied up a demonic entity in the attic so it wouldn't harm people, because it was threatening to throw people down the stairs and
Wow.
really do some major serious damage.
Mm.
But I think we did 2 investigations of that particular building. No one had ever been in it to do an investigation. The first one that we did, I think we were there for maybe 4 or 5 hours. We collected over 150 EVPs, which is electronic voice phenomenon. Everything from get out to swearing at us to calling out members of the names of the paranormal team to also calling out members of the names of the company that the building, houses.
Yep.
There was a growl. There were growls. There were all sorts of funky
That's
stuff.
insane. Now, are you ever afraid of anything getting attached to you as you leave?
There are prayers for that, but I mean,
Yep.
I'm not going to go running into the legs of the Conjuring house.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I was given the opportunity to go and do that. I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I've
actually, it's funny you say that, the Conjuring house. I've actually, I used to work for a AAA, and there was a car with a flat tire right out front of there, and I've been on the property, and it does have a weird feeling to it. It's very eerie. And now, I don't know how much they've dragged from the movie, like how far fetched they've went with it, but yeah, it definitely, like, even just like looking at the windows, you were like, that's darker than it should be. Like, it was dead sunny out, and it's like, there's something weird about this place. Like, I know I've seen the movie and I know what went on there, but it's like, I don't know. I still feel something I was in the driveway, like way off on the distance, and I felt weird, and I was like, I gotta get out of here.
The really dark energy there.
Yeah.
That whole surrounding area, I'll say.
Yeah, it's attached to the land. It's not even just that house. It's the land over there. Whatever she was doing, that woman, I don't even like to say her name. She did something to the ley lines in the land.
Yeah, it was just
and
a weird.
Running through the water too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great! Don't tell me that. Yeah, no, that was I've actually seen that place, and it's just, and you at first, because obviously Hollywood has spoofed up the house and the way it looked and all that, but when you look at it as in real life, it's like, oh, they should actually use this. Like, the house itself is very, it's weird.
And they're renting that out now for people.
Yeah. Oh, I saw that.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Talk about poking the bear.
Yeah. It's just. It almost like, and not to sound like I'm like dragging this out, but like when I got on the property, it sounded quieter. Like, even though there was noise going on, it felt quieter, like almost like you're being watched or something. It was just a weird feeling.
You were probably going into a vortex of energy.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, it was just a weird.
Created some type of portal to open up to some other realm that should have never been opened up to this planet.
Yeah. And at that time, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't really a believer in like the spirits and stuff like that. And even as a non-believer, I felt something weird when I was there. And now I obviously have opened my eyes, but I don't know. It was awkward. But
so when we think about reincarnation, or we think about, like Ashley said, she's gonna wake up as an alien on another planet. Who are all of these energies and spirits that are still roaming here, that haven't cardinated or haven't, moved somewhere else? Is that at their own will, or is that at the will of some divine energy that said, hey, listen, you can't go here, you have to stay here?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Is it at their will that they're still here, or are they stuck here at the will of something else?
Probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, I think it depends on the situation.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I also think that there's souls that aren't allowed to incarnate here yet. You know, there's souls that want to come onto this planet. They're not ready yet. Then there's souls that want to stay here. They get stuck here. Tori, what do you think about energy imprints in the house? Like, it's not the actual being, but it's
residual.
Yeah.
Oh, that's huge. I mean, that can affect land. That's in our house.
Mm-hmm.
We have a very active house here. Staircases are very active because think about it. When you're going up and down the stairs, think about how many times you touch the staircase, how old the house is, and all of those people that have imprinted that energy.
Yeah. Energy imprints are like a real serious thing, I feel like. And
so you're saying like the creaks that you hear in certain houses and stuff like that, that could just be residual energy that's been.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I never thought about that. That's interesting.
So just think of this. Like, think of if you had a holiday party, right? And then everybody leaves, but they're there for hours. You can still feel everyone's energy in your house for a little while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, pay attention to that next time you have people over, and like look at how.
Oh, where'd Tori go? I'm out of here. If your phone died or something, if anything, just click the link again, and it will send you right back on the screen. Oh, what the ghosts are like? Hey, Tori's giving up too much information. Get up out of here, bro. That's crazy.
But yeah, energy imprints are. I feel like where there's been wars and battle, you would think that maybe it's ghosts, but I think a lot of it is energy imprints. And that one place she was talking about in Newport with the demonic energy, that was in a place where there was a lot of war memorabilia.
Yeah.
So always a lot of demonic or dark energy around war memorabilia, because it's kind of like the energy imprints get attached. And I feel like it could be a soul that died in battle, and then they're just getting really. Tori, what do you think of this, like with demonic energy?
I seem to be a magnet for that.
Oh boy.
But do you feel that with the demonic energy, that's like with the war memorabilia, like sometimes it's the souls and they don't cross over, and then they end up, because they get stuck, they end up just in a dark place, and they get
trapped there by something darker and something more powerful. They get trapped there, like the place in Newport that
that's what. Yeah.
You know, it is an armory of all war artifacts. It's a war museum. So it's anything and everything that soldiers and sailors would have carried with them into battle or to sea from colonial times up to present day.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff where people were like, you know, helmets where people were, well, they didn't make it, obviously.
Yeah.
Ginormous pieces out of it. So there's something feeding in there off of the energy, and it's trapping other souls.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but I heard that in traumatic situations, like if someone dies in an extremely traumatic situation, they could be trapped in that exact moment where it just keeps looping. The same experience just keeps looping and looping and looping, and obviously growing in this energy signature.
Yep,
that's insane.
That's exactly what a residual haunt is. It's a loop that plays over and over and over again. And sometimes it can be tied into certain times of the year. Sometimes it can be tied into certain times of the day, based upon whoever that schedule that they had.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a friend in New York who kept on hearing at 2:00 every afternoon what sounded like luggage falling down her staircase.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Yeah.
But when I keep waking up at 3:30 in the morning, should I be worried?
The witching hour? Haha.
I've been waking up. I'm like,
that means
do you know that I wake up to go to the bathroom and I see that hour on the clock and I'm like, oh my God, I close my eyes. I have to go back to bed now.
A couple more minutes. I'm like, okay, 3:40. I'm clear. Let's go. Now, what is that? What's going on with that? Because I seem to wake up at that time a lot. Like,
I feel like anytime I have clients and they start waking up at that time, they're beginning to connect with their abilities more. You're traveling in the astral realm. You're connecting with the divine. Like, that is a time where you're receiving downloads, all of that.
Okay.
You're connected, Jay.
I'm connected.
It's the witching hour. Yeah.
The witching hour.
You said. There was something else. Oh, Tori, did you ever go to New Orleans?
No, it's on the list though.
We gotta go.
That would be fun.
I want
to Skeleton Key.
Seriously, I want to go like next month, but we can talk about that later. But
damn, that's a quick trip.
yeah, it was on the American Horror Story, the Lala Ree house. Remember where she kept all the slaves and she tortured them? And anybody see that American Horror Story?
Nah, not that.
I choose not to watch those.
Yeah, I mean, that was the only one that I watched, but she was, oh God, she was vicious. And they take you to that house and that I wouldn't even walk across the street. Like, that's like the last stop on the ghost tour, and people would go and stand in front of it and take pictures. And I'm like, I am not going anywhere near that house.
Yeah.
Do I need to bring the holy water for it?
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so that would be. Let's see. Let's catch up on some of these. Well, we got so many comments, but let's see what the last most recent one is. That
well,
put the luggage. She's talking about the luggage.
Put me in your luggage.
Oh snap. All right. So, will we ever know concretely? Because I think, put it this way, science. I think science is catching up to nature when it comes to the abilities of what it's able to detect. You know what I mean? So I feel like with time, or actually I won't say I feel like, I wonder with time if we would ever be able to answer these questions with, obviously, we have knowledge, we have truth, we have intuition. We know what feels right. We know what other people have experienced, what we've experienced. But will it ever be textbook, this is what happens when you die?
I don't feel it will.
No.
I mean, I think I know, for example, what's his face? Brian Weiss has done a lot of research. He's someone that does a lot of past life regression. And he has done some research in terms of people kind of figuring out what they're doing in between lives while they're out and about, what their soul is. So there's been a lot of interesting research with that, but I don't necessarily think we're going to know specifically. I also think it differs from culture to culture.
Yeah, you know what? That's an interesting thing too, because I think Ashley said that earlier. It might not be the same for everybody. When people die, it could be a different experience for all four of us that are on the stream right now.
So I, studying the ETs and things like that, when they transition, from what people have said with communicating with them, is that some of them, that they see the transition process. So I wonder if eventually we may get to that, but I feel like that is nowhere in our lifetime. You know
what I wonder too? I wonder if people who believe, say someone who concretely believes, in, let's say, the Bible, and when you die, you go to heaven, and there's angels flying around and all these different things. I wonder if you have a belief that strong that when you die, you actually experience that.
Yeah,
it's imprinted in your mind that that's what's going to happen next.
I think it's whatever you make of it.
But we all agree something happens after this life.
I do.
Oh, yeah.
Donnie?
100.
Yeah. I don't want to think about it, but sure.
That was a half-hearted yeah.
Oh, man. Well, listen, I think we could talk about this all night, but it looks like we're creeping right on the time. It's 8:57. So I think this is how we should wrap it up. Let's do each one of us do a 45-second final thought, life after death. What do you guys think? What do you make of it? And then we'll wrap up the show. So we'll start. I'll pass the ball to Donnie, and we'll do a full circle.
All right. My thoughts on it is, I definitely want to hear different thoughts on this. I want to hear everybody else's different cultures and read more into it and see about it. From my personal experience, I'm just, like I told you before, I'm very skeptical of what's going to happen, and I don't deny that something won't happen. I mean, I think that what I'm saying is, I know something's going to happen. What it is, I have no idea, and maybe none of us do. But I hope that it's in a good direction. And I hope it's just not like a continuous cycle of, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hope that light at the end of the tunnel isn't right back into another something, you know, I don't know.
All right.
Sorry,
final thought.
My final thought is I feel our soul has a soul journey, and we sign up for these different escapades, I guess you could say. And when it's all part of our soul journey, it's all part of our lessons that our soul is trying to work with to advance. And these times where we come into this world or other worlds, it's all part of our learning lesson.
Nice.
Is it my turn?
Wait, it better not be what it was last week, Ashley.
You're a bitch. You better get your work done before you die, or you're coming back and you're doing it all over again.
Oh man.
So no. I mean, I kind of believe that, honestly. That's why I tell people, make sure you get your soul's purpose done.
Get your shit together. Yeah.
Get your shit together. I agree with Tori. I agree that we are definitely here to do the work and learn a lot, you know, and go up a notch, the next level with our soul's work. So I think it's different for everyone. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that everyone is going to end up in the same place when they pass. But I do feel like if you do your best when you're here, meaning, you know, be a good human, help the world out, all that, I don't see anything bad happening to you. I feel like if you're like selling your soul and eating babies, I don't want to know where you're going to go after you die. But what I know is I am going to die with a smile on my face and go back to my home planet. And then I'm going to drive my spaceship back here and yell, "You're a bitch," in the left.
All right, at least we know if we hear that come from the sky, we'll be like, "Ashley, that's you a bitch." For real. For myself, I mean, I don't know. I give a lot of thought to this, but not from a place of fear, just a place of curiosity. Where I'm at now, I just feel like death is an illusion. I feel like death is just the beginning of the next cycle. I don't believe we just lights out and that was fun and we'll never do that again. You know what I mean? I just think that we continue to exist, if not here in this exact existence, just on, you know, throughout the multiverse and infinite realities and all these different things, is our soul or spirit experiencing all different types of outcomes to build our one soul. Even though it's infinite realities, infinite existences, it's still, the infinite becomes one. You know what I mean? The higher you go. So no matter how much infinite there is, it all comes into one singular thing. So I believe that all of that builds the singular. I don't know. I think we all just have to take our best guess. But either way, the same way I don't think we can remember not being alive before we were born. I don't think we'll conceptualize not being alive when we supposedly die. I think we just will always be here. You know what I mean? Because we're part of something bigger. With that being said, this was great. You guys are great. The comments were great. We didn't even catch up on all of them, but we'll go back and we'll talk some more. If you guys have other topics you would like us to talk about, please, you know, send us a message, put something in the comments, because we like to do these deep dives, because I feel like these are great conversations that, you know, should be had for sure. With that being said, Ashley, take us home, and that's it.
All right. Well, we're leaving, and don't be a bitch.
There we go. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody have a good night. Don't forget, like and share. Like and share. Let's get some more people involved in these conversations. Tori, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank
you.
you.
On the fly, but you were amazing. You gave us some great information, and we're totally, you know, indebted for you joining us tonight, for sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Facebook, Twitch TV. Everybody have a good night. We are